What's going on, fight fans? This is Capital Combat. The name says it all. I'm Rob Jarrell, and this is the recap to this morning's World Boxing Super Series Bantamweight finale featuring Naoya Inoue taking on Nonito the Filipino Flash Donaire in Saitama, Japan for the Muhammad Ali Trophy and also the IBF and WBA Super Championship belt because, you know, they got like 15,000 belts for no reason. But in one, again, the second straight championship fight done in the World Boxing Super Series that might be another Fight of the Year candidate. This is probably the fourth or fifth this year with high-level competitors with Triple G and Deverevchenko, Prograis and Taylor, Beterbiev, and oh my God, Gvozdyk. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry about that. And Errol Spence Jr. Against Showtime Porter. Again, another great fight. And let's get into it. I have to apologize to Nonito Donaire because I said he would get knocked out in 8 or 9 rounds, broken down. But I said there was a possibility that he can make it the full fight. But not only did he make it the full fight, it was an extremely competitive fight. He took Inoue through fire. This was a test for Inoue to show what he really had when he had faced his best competition, even though Nonito Donaire is 36, twilight his career, on his way out, and really needed to show what else he had left in the tank versus a young, hungry, strong, talented fighter like Inoue. And these guys put on the show. I said in the preview that Nonito Donaire couldn't take a lot of flush, clean hits. He needed to make Inoue miss, and he needed to make him pay. And let's be honest, he made him pay, but Inoue got his shots off as well. And I think he was really surprised in the fight, especially the first half of the fight, the power that Nonito Donaire had. Because there was a few times that right hand landed on Inoue that he did not like. And he realized that he was fighting a naturally bigger guy, a strong guy, and a guy who was not going to be deterred or afraid or scared of the power that Inoue brought to the division and the fight. I've got to give kudos to both guys, not only physically, but also mentally. Because Inoue was going up against a guy, again, who was bigger, who could dish out as much punishment and take his shots, who consistently move forward. That is a lot of physical and mental pressure to put on a young fighter who's up against it. And he passed. That's all I can say. A lot of people I've noticed are saying that he was exposed. I'm sorry. When you have high-level fights, you are not exposed. You're going against another talented guy who's just as, if not more, intelligent and will come in with a great game plan to take advantage of whatever weaknesses you have, any kind of chinks in the armor, or impose his own will. The same with Nonito Donaire. He came in and knew he was the bigger guy, and no matter what punishment, what hits he took, he consistently moved forward. And that was part of the game plan, to put pressure on the young lion and weather the storm at a lot of points. That includes a knockdown. That includes being hurt in the 5th round. So those were 2 main times where he was visibly hurt and knocked down. So mentally and physically, these guys brought it. So just to get into the fight, in the first half of the fight, especially in the first few rounds, Inoue established a jab. Very hard, very fast, really didn't throw it but so much. But again, he had a lot on it, and he wanted to score on Donaire to try to see what he could do, see how he respond. And Nonito Donaire, tight guard, made sure that even though if Inoue landed, it would either miss, he would either miss, or when he did land, it would be glancing off the glove. He would block, be responsible, make sure that if it did, boom, turn with it, ride out those punches. And that's only something an experienced fighter who has been through the storm against the likes of Rigondeaux, Burnett, Frampton, Walters, Magdaleno can really bring to this kind of fight. And I think when Inoue landed, again, I said earlier, he felt something that he didn't like. So he found out that he couldn't just take unnecessary risks. He couldn't stay in the box against a guy like Donaire because Inoue needs room to punch. He can fight at mid-range. He can fight at a distance. But when he's in the box with a guy like Donaire, he needs a little bit more space, and it takes something off his punches. Not only that, but with Donaire coming forward, it didn't give much room or chance for Inoue to really set and throw his punches. Because when he threw those punches, a lot of guys that he's faced stayed at bay. They stayed on the outside. They didn't really move as forward, or they moved forward tentatively. Even when he hurt guys, they didn't come forward. They didn't really fight as hard back. They started moving backwards. Donaire took some hard shots. Again, not glancing those, but he blocked it or took something off it. Kept moving forward and delivered his own shots. Now, he wasn't as tight or as precise as Inoue was, but he did land. And what I noticed throughout the fight, he really couldn't out jab Inoue, but he could counter and throw the right over the top. Make a miss, hit him with a hook. And he did some good body work going downstairs with the left hook. And I think that's what caught the eye or the attention of Inoue, because he knew as good as a body puncher as he would take some return fire. So he did a great job weathering that storm, adjusting to it, trying his best to stay out of range against a guy who was moving forward, not really cutting off the ring, but moving forward. Nonito Donaire was definitely kind of bouncy, and as the fight wore on, he would inch or walk forward. What I didn't like is at times that he would lunge in. That's the last thing. Reminds me of Pacquiao just kind of jumping in, or Sean Porter jumping in, lunging in, and not really getting anything out of it, because it's just taking you, you're getting ahead of yourself, it's taking you out of position, and it's opening you up to a counter. What I did like is his timing. He made Inoue miss quite a bit and would return fire, not always successfully, but if you look at the face of Inoue, he did give the impression that, yes, something landed. On the other hand, Inoue was definitely tight. He worked the 1-2. He worked the jab. If he wasn't going to knock him out, he was going to score, and did well off his back foot to not let Nonito Donaire consistently get on the inside. But there were times where Donaire was on the inside and he would throw that right over the top of the jab of Inoue. Now, they traded right hands. I think Inoue did a good job throwing it right to the body, but he really couldn't consistently get anything established for more than a few seconds at a time. And when in the box, Nonito Donaire really let his left hook go. He at times threw 2-3 at a time upstairs, sometimes down, but when he had him leaning, he would just keep throwing, and throw the right over the top. Another good thing defensively that Inoue did is that he threw the right hand. When he threw the right hand, again, stepping, coming back with his own. So Inoue hurt him, if I'm not mistaken, in the 5th round with a hard right hand, but he really couldn't capitalize on Donaire, because Donaire, again, stayed calm, blocked, and he took a few shots, but nothing as hard as other fighters who Inoue was able to knock out. And Inoue couldn't really capitalize. Not only that, but Nonito Donaire hit him with the left hook in the early rounds to open up a cut over Inoue's right eye. And he landed some good left hooks, I believe, in the 8th round, which opened up the eye more, visibly bleeding and blood streaming out of the nose. So we knew that Donaire was really throwing some hard eye-catching shots. In the 9th, he hurt Inoue with a counter right hand, and he really couldn't capitalize, because the good thing about Inoue, he consistently moved back, and Donaire, who's not going to jump in knowing that Inoue has fight-changing power, bided his time to see how hurt Inoue was, and Inoue recovered well. He got some get back. Toward the end of round 10, he landed some good right hands on Donaire and a few good check hooks, but in the 11th, in an exchange, Inoue shot the jab, threw an uppercut, which was blocked. I told you, look up the right uppercut to the breadbasket, which Donaire had scouted, but what Inoue did is he feinted upstairs, which Donaire bit on that three, and went right under the right elbow of Nonito Donaire, which had a delayed reaction because Donaire tried to run it off and had to take a knee. Inoue was looking patiently, intently, was like, okay, this is my chance. I ended the fight. I'm going to do what Canelo did, ended in the 11th round, walk off home run. And Nonito Donaire was down there waiting for the count, last second up. And you could visibly see the face of Inoue. He was like, holy shit, he got up. I put everything I had into that left hook, and he got up. He's not messing around. This dude is extremely strong. So he tried to turn it up, got a few punches off, but again, nothing to really truly capitalize off a guy who has a really good chin, naturally bigger, and mostly defensively responsible. And then the 12th round, Inoue knew he had it in the bag, off the back foot, continued to move, landed shots where he needed to, while Nonito Donaire kept coming forward and made a very close round. Most of this fight, except the clear rounds, I would say in the 5th, 8th, 9th, and 11th were clear rounds. The rest of it, if you like the jab consistently score for Inoue, that's what you took. And he had, I think, more eye-catching shots. But if you like the work rate, Nonito Donaire consistently came forward, put pressure on the young guy, threw those punches, and beat him in spots. He took the middle rounds off, I believe, but beat him in spots. And I think that's what carried Inoue to the victory. Give me a second. I'm going to look up the scores because some of them, I know boxing scoring is subjective, but that was a little rough with some of these scores. Excuse me. So, I hate to do this. We have to take a look. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I know, again. My memory's bad. There's a lot of stuff going on up there. But it was a unanimous decision, 116 to 111. Fair score. I can agree with that because of the knockdown. The knockdown made the biggest difference. 117 to 109. 114, 113, which means it would have been a draw on Judge Robert Hoyle's scorecard, all because of the knockdown, which, again, it depends on what you're looking for. I think the 116 to 111 was probably the most fair, accurate. I think 114, 113 is really subjective. It depends on what you're giving to Donaire. 117, 109 might have been a little wide. So that's neither here nor there. What's next? Inoue signed with Top Rank, which means he's going to be looking for all the money fights. He's probably going to be exclusively in Japan, China, maybe the Philippines, and will be featured on the west coast of the U.S. I think he's earned that. He is a name. Donaire, again, 36, 40, and 6. This wasn't a bad loss, but he does have 6 losses. He's getting up there. He has taken his fair share of punishment. You have guys in that division who, to me, he can beat, like Rodriguez. I think he can beat. Nieves, I think he can beat, but a guy like Luis Neri, Ubali. Yeah, Nordine Ubali out of France, and Zolani Tete, who has a WBO. I think those would be rough fights. I think Ubali Neri would be tough. Ubali he might be able to take on, and Zolani Tete would be a good fight. I think he's out of Zimbabwe. No, South Africa. Sorry, South Africa. But that's all I got for you today. What did you think? Did we get a great finale to the second World Boxing Super Series tournament? The second great fight that they've put on, championship fight that they put on in a row. And I'm looking for season 3. I hope it comes soon. 2020. That's all I can ask for. Hopefully they do the heavyweights, 154, and let's go with lightweight. Yeah, and let's go with lightweight. Tell us what you think. Put your comments down below. like this video, subscribe to this video, share with your friends, other boxing fans who enjoy commentary. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Email us at capitalcombat@gmail.com. Remember, keep it respectful to us and yourselves. And until next time, fight on.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game.